Hello friends, near and far, dear to my heart, I'm Victoria with Aligned Soul Tarot. This reading will be for Sagittarius and all Sagittarius placements found within your birth chart or wherever you have ninth house influence in your chart. If you don't know what any of those placements are, just know that I offer one-on-one personalized birth chart readings where we dive into the archetypes of your birth chart. With each of my readings, you get a full tarot spread, birth chart notes, and a private pre-recorded reading for you to go back to at any moment. In this reading, we will discuss astrology for your sun and ascendant signs, tarot, oracle messages, and I'm trying a new format this month where I'm doing a separate love reading. You can find that link in the description of this video if you're looking for a love message. There always seems to be some crossover, and I highly encourage you to watch both readings for all your placements to get a deeper perspective. We are in Aquarius season. Aquarius takes the spotlight with this massive Pluto transit into Aquarius. We will be discussing what that means specifically for you. We are stepping through the threshold of this age of Aquarius, and it's all about unconventional, open-minded, forward thinking. Aquarius strips away the labels and the stereotypes, and it dares us to see beyond them. Now, Sagittarius, let's get into your February reading. Hello, my lovely Sagittarius viewers. Welcome to your February reading. Welcome to this space. Okay, so we're going to dive right into the astrology piece. As I always say, these are specific for Sun and Ascendant Sagittarius because I deal with house systems. If it resonates, but I highly encourage you to watch your February or any of my monthly readings, the Astro-Tarot readings, and watch for those two placements. And of course, watch for your other placements. I highly encourage you to check out your moon, your Venus, your Mars, and even your North Node. If you don't know what any of those placements are, you can find all my information for birth chart readings below. I am still running the February sale. I'm extending it to the end of February for Synastry chart readings. So if you're interested in looking into a certain partnership, whether it's complicated, you're single, divorced, together, Synastry chart readings are such a great way to bridge the gap, right? Between two people, between two charts. They're great readings for relationships and again for closure, okay? This Pluto energy is all about transformation, right? It's scorpionic energy. It's how we deal with crisis. It's a lot around destruction, dismantling, shadow work, deep dive, okay? Pluto, it, of course, like any planet, goes retrograde. So we've been experiencing Capricorn and this Pluto and Aquarius energy for, I would say, the last 6 months, right? Pluto went direct a couple months ago, and now it's fully transitioning into Aquarius for most of 2024. It will do a dance back into Capricorn at the end of 2024. So I'm going to be focusing on both, because with these longer stretches of time when Pluto is in a sign, it's like we are taking what we've learned and we're bringing it with us, right? Even when the planets transition, astrology is evolutionary. So we bring along everything that we're learning, hopefully, as we evolve, right? So it's really important to take those core principles and lessons from what Pluto and Capricorn has been teaching you and integrating it into 2024 and into the next 20 years. This transition is very important. There's all sorts of different planets and aspects, and astrology is so fluid and changing, but there are certain ones that are very monumental, especially the outer planets when they switch signs, right? This is generational, so it's almost like a timestamp on the timeline that you can reflect back to, you know, and most people give it 10 years. Look back to this time in your life, and I know you will think of one thing in particular that was massive, that was transformational, especially in the collective, right? This is not just on a personal scale, but this is on a macro scale, okay? So Sagittarius, Pluto in Capricorn has been in your second house, okay? Predominantly for 20 years. And again, it's not always 20 years. It can be sometimes 16 to 30 years that it stays in a sign. It fluctuates, but on average, it's about 20 years, okay? Second house is about earned income. This is Taurus energy. This is about our resources, stability, not just earned income money, but also emotional security. Okay, so this is all around how we feel safe and secure financially and emotionally. With Pluto in your second house, again, Pluto is about maybe throwing in a couple dead ends, some quick turns to the right, some quick turns to the left when it comes to making money. Maybe you felt like you've reached some sort of financial goal, or you could be feeling like you're hitting a dead end, hitting a wall, right? Having a lot of challenges around finances. And like I always say, and I know it's easier said than done, where the tension lies is where the growth is. So some sort of repeated pattern with your money, your financial stability, your emotional security that's coming up for you and has been coming up for you. There's some big lessons there to dig deep, right? Pluto wants us to dig deep. Pluto wants us to take accountability. Pluto wants us to do the shadow work. Why do we choose a certain belief around our money? Why do we think the way we do around our wealth, right? The lack mentality. The second house can talk a lot around scarcity mindset, okay? So these are some themes that you are bringing with you into Pluto and Aquarius, okay? These are some big themes. And again, this is a general reading. If you want to go a bit deeper into a private reading in your birth chart, we could see where you have second house influence, where you have Taurus, right? Where you have some sort of aspect to Pluto, okay? So in a nutshell, that's Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto in Aquarius is in your third house. So you could be finally noticing maybe some sort of investment or project with someone else. Third house is close neighbors, right? This is short distance travel, unlike the ninth house, which is your house, which is long distance. The third house is our local community. You could be finding like dead ends, right? People that you thought could be there for you, maybe some communication issues coming up. Okay, third house is mercurial energy. It does govern mainly, you know, communication. Think about Mercury retrograde. When we hear about Mercury retrograde, that's that third house energy, right? So technological issues, travel, communication, etc. A lot around electronics, right? If you're thinking about physical objects. But the third house really, for me as an astrologer, is how we process information, how we store information. Right? Think of your body as a computer, right? And how we're filtrating information in, especially nowadays. There's a bombardment of information with technology and the internet and social media. So we are like sponges taking in all this information. And what happens when we take in too much? Right? Think of like a system malfunction, needing to defrag, right? The third house is a lot around like decluttering. People with heavy third house in their chart tend to run really high, like they are, you know, anxiety ridden, ADHD, and need to move constantly, okay? Restlessness, mental fog, the jitters, you know, third house can really feel very stimulating, especially if you don't know how to slow down and rest, okay? So this could be a theme that's coming up for you, feeling a bit restless. Maybe your mind is getting the best of you, especially around money, okay? The third house, when it comes to Pluto, one thing to be mindful of is how you are communicating with others, right? And that can look very different for everyone, depending on your attachment style, depending on learned behaviors, right? Try not to avoid communication, maybe even looking into conflict resolution. You could be someone that helps others, right? A third house is highly stimulating. Again, learning a lot. You could feel this thirst for knowledge, maybe learning a new skill even, okay? It is about our interests, right? Our hobbies as well. It's Gemini energy, so it's a very curious place. So get curious, okay, Sag? Which I know you're so good at, right? Gemini is your opposite, and you do share a lot of similarities with Gemini. A Gemini also could be playing a significant role for you with this third house influence, Pluto and Aquarius. We have this streamline effect in astrology right now, and we've been having this the last couple of months where a lot of the planets are just lining up in the same signs. So there's the streamline of this fourth house. Mercury and Mars in Aquarius as well, okay? Third house. We had a new moon in Aquarius on the 9th, and then we have this full moon in Virgo highlighting your 10th house. So lots around finances, your achievements, your goals. And I'm getting reminded of your January reading. There was something in there for you. If you haven't watched it, you can find that on my channel. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, you're learning something here. Let's see here. What do we have for the Sagittarius collective? I'm going to pull from the Wild Unknown Oracle. Let's see, Sagittarius, the Ring. So I'm just learning this deck, so you're gonna have to give me a second. There's some cards that, you know, I can just see the illustration or the name and I can really understand it, but this deck is so much depth to it. So I am gonna actually read to you from the book here, The Ring. So right off the bat, what comes to mind for you when you think of the ring? There could be literally a ring that you hold dear to yourself. This could also talk, I'm getting reminded of like engagement. But really what this is about here is the ring is an image of connectedness. Feeling connected. Rather than viewing life as linear, as a series of progressive achievements, the ring challenges us to sense the cyclical, infinite nature of our world and our experiences. I'm getting reminded of the 8, the infinity symbol. Beginnings and endings fall by the wayside as we practice seeing ourselves as part of the cosmic circularity of creation. And it's by no surprise a ring is worn on the finger to represent eternal love that surpasses space-time. So this literally could be talking again about engagements, getting engaged, proposing, right? The intimate bond between two that unites through the ring, right? The ring is a physical, tangible object that it showcases a connection, right? So this is about sacred cycles. Again, Pluto changing signs. This is a big cycle. Again, this is a timestamp on your timeline to remember and what's coming up for you, what's bubbling up for you. And also, again, third house is how you are connecting, how you are communicating. You could be finding that there is some really hard conversations that you're having to have potentially with someone that you are involved with. Again, you don't have to be married, but this shows some sort of union of sorts. You could be really intrigued or feeling an urge to look into like sacred geometry, mandalas. It says, take stock of the jewels you adorn yourself with. So, oh, this is interesting. It says, take stock of the jewels you adorn yourself with. Watch out for the rings you wear out of your habit that keep you connected to the old you. Okay, so there's something that you're shedding. Something around jewelry here. Interesting, okay. So that could be someone's, you know, something that holds something true to you, a ring of some sort. Let's look into the empathic oracle message for you, Sagittarius. Root chakra. staying very present. It's interesting. So I have root chakra music going on in the background. Okay. So where do you have Earth in your chart? If you do, your Earth friends will be very beneficial for you. You could also be connected to an Earth sign in a relationship here. But the root chakra is all about feeling safe. Again, this is that second house. Feeling safe within connections. Again, not just financial security, but emotional security as well. There's a lot around feeling safe, safety, because the root chakra is all about being grounded. I'm being urged to guide you to a practice. You know, if you're feeling that restlessness that's found in the third house, right? Anxiety, worry, fear, scarcity mindset, with whatever sort of conflict that's bubbling up for you. A good practice is to feel into your feet, okay? Also, root chakra guided meditations, which I will link below. I'm gonna link one that I love. I'm a Gemini. I have Earth in my chart, actually quite a bit, but I started practicing really focusing in on the root because I deal with anxiety, you know, fear, worry. We all, you know, we're humans. And I felt like this imbalance, you know, a lot of this ethereal upper crown activation, and then I'm just not feeling grounded in my body. So like somatic practices, somatic therapy, EMDR therapy. You know, third house is talk, right? Communication, so talk therapy of sorts. Noticing some sort of patterns here in the way that you communicate, especially when conflict arises. What are your triggers? And how do you stay rooted? How do you stay rooted? Okay, what else? Yeah, Earth. Lots of Earth showing up for you. Gaslighting. Okay, so there it is. Someone is gaslighting you, or vice versa. If you don't know what gaslighting is, I can give you a little brief scenario. Okay, say you're in conflict with your partner, coworker, friend, family. Someone's speaking their feelings, needing some sort of validation from their partner. And their partner just says, oh my God, you're too sensitive. Like, what are you talking about? That didn't happen. You know, that's a simple form of gaslighting. There's many ways that we gaslight. So it might be interesting for you to look into this, right? Because most people do gaslight without even knowing. Sometimes it's just humorous, right? We're making a joke and the other person might take it a little bit more sensitive, right? You could be that person on the other side of the spectrum. Maybe you're dishing it out, but then you don't know how to receive that. Something around, definitely something here going on around communication. Okay, let's pull from the light seers. What messages do we have for the Sagittarius? And Knight of Swords is coming out. Lots of air. Definitely could be dealing with an air sign or have air in your chart. Very predominant. Knight of Swords is effective communication, but can be very impulsive, very swift with the tongue, saying things, gaslighting. If you are dealing with an air sign, it's looking like they might be gaslighting. And then it causes someone to shut down. Okay, what else here? Someone's triggered. Okay, Sagittarius. What do we have for the Sagittarius collective? Guides, angels, allies, ancestors. What do we have for Sagittarius? What do we have for my Sagittarius viewers? The Death card's coming up in reverse. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. Is someone, you could be dealing with a water sign. I'm seeing water. I'm seeing Gemini again. I'm seeing Earth, Scorpio. Yes, some sort of emotional manipulation. Again, gaslighting, belittling someone, like trigger volatility, moodiness, aggressive behaviors. Okay, I'm not saying this is you, but this is the energy that's in this general reading, right? If you want a love reading, just know that that link is below if you're looking for specifics. Again, these readings tend to go hand in hand. There's a lot of synergy between both. Okay, but yeah, there's something around, look at that, the Page of Cups is on the bottom. Maybe someone feels rejected. Okay, left out in the cold here. Again, Five of Pentacles is also about resources. This is Taurus energy. So where do you have Taurus in your chart? Strongly with that second house, Pluto and Capricorn. Feeling abandoned, feeling like something's not reciprocal, right? You're feeling like you cannot manifest something here. You've tried and tried again, and then you seem to be failing. Something's falling by the wayside. Some sort of cycle keeps repeating here, right? We saw the ring. Okay. And then the Ocean card is peeking out below, and that's reminding me of the Queen of Cups here. There's some depth to the unseen. I'm getting like the Moon energy. So something that's repressed, hidden, illusions. The Moon can also talk about like mental health. Something doesn't feel reciprocated in your life. You're feeling as though you're hitting a dead end. Okay, the Death is in reverse. This is that Plutonic energy. This is definitely a repeat of some cycle even, because the Death upright is like you're ready to renew something or rebirth something or to transform something. But in reverse, it's like there's an avoidance here or returning to something, okay? Returning to something, maybe returning to a water sign here. Let's see. Let's pull from the wisdom of the Oracle. What do we have for Sagittarius in regards to February? Fair. Okay, so karmic justice in some way. This is all about perspective. Gaining some sort of perspective after you've rooted yourself. Finding some sort of grounding. I feel like the best advice that I can give you is soulmates is showing up Treasure Island is to be fair when conflict arises in communication. Say there is gaslighting. It's okay to take a moment, right? Anxious, I'm getting reminded of the anxious avoidant pairing. You know, the avoidant in conflict wants to just turn a blind eye, right? Doesn't want to handle it, feels triggered by, you know, you're stepping my boundaries. They want their independence. They want their autonomy. You know, they turn to avoidant behaviors while the anxious just wants to keep talking, right? Let's talk through it. Let's work through it, right? Because they feel anxious. So it's projection in a way. On both sides, there's no healthy way to deal with that dynamic unless there is some sort of fairness, right? I need 10 minutes, right? I actually just watched this really cool video on Instagram of how to deal with this anxious avoidant dynamic and communication. It doesn't have to just be in partnerships. Again, it could be family, friends, coworkers, but there is something around being fair. If you are finding yourself meeting a dead wall or dead end in communication with someone, it's never okay to gaslight or just word vomit, right? To be fair. But it's also not okay to just turn a blind eye and like ghost someone. Unless there's like abuse, you know, but even in those situations where someone is very volatile, I highly suggest that if you do care about this person, if you want this person in your life and you want to find some closure, the best way to handle it is not to avoid or dismiss, but to say, hey, I can see that this is a very triggering moment for both of us. And I'm needing 5-10 minutes, a day, a week, whatever that looks like. That's okay. And I think, this is my opinion, but I feel like that can be really hard for some partnerships. You know, they want to resolve it right away. Let's resolve it right now. But to be fair, is that really the way that the human psyche works? No. Sometimes time is actually the best medicine that you can gift yourself and someone else if you are dealing with something that does not seem fair or just or right. especially with the root chakra showing up. It seems like, Sag, you really need to ground yourself, because if you're ungrounded and you're trying to resolve something, especially around finances, right, friends, any sort of conflict really, but finances is coming up really strongly for you. Give yourself time to ground yourself. Take a pause, take a breath, okay? But that doesn't mean, you know, I'm never talking to this person again. You know, the power of free will is always at play. This is just my advice for you. I saw, again, the reel on Instagram of this partnership where the person clearly stated if they felt triggered, right? They're like, I'm going to take 30 minutes and we can come back to this, instead of just being like, F off and run out the door or leave. And if someone can't, to be fair, if someone can't respect your boundary, you can still keep your boundary, right? If they say no, you cannot have 10 minutes. You cannot have 20 minutes. You cannot have a day, whatever. Then let them. But you can still root yourself, right? You have to have that sort of self-control in that moment if that's going to help you not be triggered or to gaslight or vice versa, right? Okay, let's pull here. Let's see. Now let's pull from the Lovers Tarot. We're going to take this over to the love reading. Again, find that link below in the description box if you are interested. Let's see. Let's see. For Sagittarius, for February, please show me. Please show me for the Sagittarius collective. Abundance, healing. So you could be finding yourself healing right now, trying to keep a positive mindset. Yeah. At all costs, how can I ground myself? How can I stay present? What can I do for myself right now to feel calm and self-soothing? Because everyone has their own needs and ways of communicating. Again, doesn't mean that we have to dismiss someone else's needs, but again, finding some sort of fairness here, to be fair. So there's something about abundance here. So this is more about keeping a growth mentality, growth mindset, being optimistic, trying to stay hopeful about a certain situation. All right, Sag, if this is where we part, I'll see you next month. Find all my links below if you're needing to reach out to me. I wish you all the best. Bye for now.